Hi, this is Matt with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we'll be showing you how to repair your appliance. Remember, anytime you work on an appliance, make sure it's unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there's no chance of electrocution. Also make sure you turn off your hot and cold water supplies. In this video we're going to show you how to change out the LG Washer Thermistor Assembly. It's going to be a very easy repair and it'll only take a few minutes to show you how to do it. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can click on the link below or get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. When you open up the package, you're going to get the new thermistor assembly. The thermistor is what tells the washer the temperature of the water. The main reasons you'd be changing it out is if you're getting the incorrect temperature. Now we can take the top off. We're going to remove the lower screws that hold the bracket to the body. Once we get those screws out, we can pull the top off. Now we can pull the top back. You want to pull it back just about 1.5 inches so you can clear the stoppers. If you go back too far, you won't be able to lift it up because it'll hit the stoppers on the other side. So you just want to go about 1.5 inches back. Next we can pull out the detergent drawer and press down on the center in the back to release it so we can pull it all the way out. Now we can remove the 2 Phillips screws. Now we can unsnap the front control panel. There's some locking tabs that go along the whole length of it. So we're going to get those started and pull the panel off. Now that we have the console snapped off, we have 2 options. If you're just going to be working on the front here, you can swing it up out of the way. But if you need to work more inside, it's best just to disconnect it and get it out of the way. We have to disconnect these wire harnesses right here. So we're going to untwist these little holders and get the wires out. Then we can pull the wires out and disconnect them. All you have to do is find the release tab and press on it and pull it apart. Once you get them all off, you can lift the panel up a little bit, lean it forward, and feed these wires that we just disconnected through the hole, and then you can pull the panel off. Now we can open up the door and remove the clamp that holds the gasket on. There's a spring located at the bottom that we can pry off, so we want to take a small flathead screwdriver and carefully get behind it so we don't damage the gasket. Once you get behind it, you can lift it out of the groove and go all the way around the door to release the gasket. Now that we have the clamp off, we can take the gasket and kind of get it off of the front panel so it's out of the way. And then we can reach in behind the door switch and disconnect the wire harness from the door switch. Press the release tab and pull it off the switch. Now that we have that disconnected, we can close the washer door. And then we can take a small flathead screwdriver and open up this small access panel right here. It's going to come right off. There's nothing holding it on. And then we can use our Phillips screwdriver to remove the screw that holds in the trim on this panel. Once you have the screw out, we can pull this little panel out and just feed the drain plug through it. Now that we have the trim out of the way, we can remove the Phillips screw that holds the front panel on. Now we can remove the 4 screws that go across the top and hold the panel on. We're going to use our Phillips screwdriver to take them out. When you're taking the last screw out, you want to make sure that you hold the panel onto the washer. There's nothing else really holding it on, and it may fall off. Now that you have all the screws off, we can lift the front panel off the washer. Now that we have access to the thermistor, it's located on the bottom of the tub next to the heater. We're going to go ahead and use our wire cutter and cut this zip tie. And then we can release the wire harness clip. And we can pull out the thermistor from the tub. Here's the old thermistor assembly next to the new one. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can get it at appliancepartspros.com. Now we can put the new thermistor assembly in. All you have to do is slide it into its position and push it in. Once you have it seated all the way, we can reconnect the wire harness. And then we can put a new zip tie on the wires. Once you have it tightened down, you can take your wire cutter and cut the excess off. Now that we have the part installed, we can put the washer back together. Now we can go ahead and put the front back on. We want to take and set it onto the 3 tabs. And make sure that your hose doesn't get pinched in there. And then we can tilt it up and put in the 4 screws. Next we can put back in this cover assembly. First we can put back in the little screw that holds the front panel to it. Next we can put the trim assembly back in. We want to pull out the drain hose and put it through the hole. Snap it into place. And then we can put the screw back in. We can take the little drain hose and put it in the clip. And then we can put the front access panel on and snap it closed. Now we can reach in behind the door gasket and grab the wire harness and hook it back up to the switch. Pull the gasket out so we can attach it to the front panel. We have to go around and make sure that the gasket is in this groove, so when we put the spring clamp on, it holds it in place. All right, now we can grab the spring clamp, and we want to make sure the spring is down at 6 o'clock. Once we have it stretched around most of the way, we can put the vice grips on and very carefully stretch out the spring and get the clamp the rest of the way around. You want to make sure when you pull back on this that you pull straight back so you're not pulling out and pulling the gasket off. Now that we have it on, we can close the door. Put the console back in. We're going to feed the wires through the hole in the back panel and pull them through, and then we can rotate the panel up into place and snap it in. Now that we have the wires pulled through, we can connect them back to the main wire harness. All you have to do is snap them together and make sure they lock. And then we can reconnect them to the wire harness holders. Now that we have the console on and connected, we can put in the screws that hold the soap dispenser body. Then we can put the detergent tray back in. All you have to do is line it up and then push the release lever in so you can slide it all the way in. Now we can put the top on. You want to set it down a little bit back from the front. You want to make sure that the stoppers go into these little cutouts so they can snap into their little grooves. And we can set the top down and push it forward to lock it into place. Now we can put the screws back in that hold the brackets onto the top. Now that you're done repairing the appliance, you can plug it back in, turn the water back on, and give it a spin. Thanks for joining us for another successful repair brought to you by AppliancePartsPros.com. Check out our other repair videos on our site, Facebook, and YouTube.